Good morning. This is an extra little video about economics for today, June 16th, 2022. So I wanted to touch base just quickly on two pieces of data that have already come out, that just came out yesterday. We are in a recession currently. The definition of a recession is 2 quarters of negative GDP growth back to back. It's a recession. Now, on the news, they're trying to tell you that we're not in a recession, that everything is still hunky-dory, everything's all good, everything's wonderful. But they're avoiding telling you all of the data sets that are out there. The University of Michigan consumer sentiment, and keep in mind that the US consumer is 70% of the economy. So the Michigan sentiment numbers came out and they were the lowest in 40 years, meaning that the American public has already rolled up its carpets. It's rolled up everything. It's battening down the hatches. That's what that number means. There's been other economic data that's been released that's been some of the worst ever, some of the lowest levels. But yesterday, the Atlanta Federal Reserve Bank has a tool that they use that gauges the economy in the Atlanta Fed area, if you will. And that number was supposed to be an 8. It posted a 1. Now, technically, that's still an expansion in the Atlanta Federal Reserve because it's above 0. But the difference between 8 and 1 is 7. So somehow we lost 7 someplace, and nobody was expecting that. And nobody's seen that we lost 7. Nobody was saying, oh, this number is not going to be very good when it gets calculated by the system because there's this going on and this going on and this going on and this going on. So nobody was watching the internal data in Atlanta, and it posted a 1. Now, that's still economic expansion, however, in Atlanta. But then the New York Fed, also yesterday, released data sets that said that its manufacturing sector, which upstate New York does a lot of manufacturing, they do a lot of drug manufacturing or healthcare types of things. And their numbers came out in the New York Fed, and they were terrible too. And everybody's like, we didn't see that coming. What's wrong with our system? This number can't be right. It's one of the worst we've ever printed. But things are so good out there because we're being told that things are so good out there. Well, things aren't good there either. Richmond's Federal Reserve has come out and said, oh my gosh, this is really, really bad. Yet they all met in padded cells or quiet rooms yesterday for 2 days. And they said things are really, really good out there, even though they're really, really bad out there. And we must crush the really, really good with a 75% basis rate increase. So at the end of the day, I'm making the call. I'm going to be one of the only people out here. I've made the call several weeks ago that we're in recession. Maybe by having a video posted out on the internet where I can refer back to it might actually help me at some point in time for people to understand that, hey, wait a second, there is something that Brian knows or Brian sees or Brian's just realistic about this kind of stuff. We are in a recession currently. It's a weak recession right now, but it's going to get bad. The other thing that we have to watch out for in this administration is because we have no leadership, no way to fix this problem. We've got Janet Yellen that's out there saying, yeah, I was just wrong about everything. I'm sorry, but I was just wrong about everything. Yet we don't fire her. She didn't do her job, yet she keeps her job. It seems kind of silly. So the problem now becomes, how bad does this get? And my concern is that it gets bad for specific segments of the U.S. population. Now, the homeless people, they already have it really, really bad. They're already out there with drug addictions, dying left and right. Of course, there's all kinds of people dying of drug overdoses. It just is what it is, unfortunately, because we don't have any border control any longer. And we have no war on drugs any longer. So unfortunately, more Americans are dying of drug overdoses than ever before, historically. It's not something we talk about in our press, though, either. It's like we don't talk about anything Hunter Biden. We don't talk about anything about the war on foodstuffs and all of the different terrorist attacks that have been going on inside the United States with anything food producing. That we have whole farms being literally lit on fire and burning to the ground by somebody. Somebody's out there doing those things. None of it's being covered to be able to help you to understand what really truly is going on out there in this wonderful country of ours. But at some point in time, we're going to feel it. So we're in recession. This is my recession call video again. It is bad out there. Try to get out of debt. Do whatever you have to do. Get 2 jobs, 3 jobs, 7 jobs, cut grass, do the working end of a shovel, whatever it is that you need to do to get debt free. You can start ad matching at Walmart, save on your groceries, and every single week when you save $40 on groceries, you put that on debt. That's what I did for 7 years. I was so adamant about ad matching at Walmart that they would start a new lane for me at the cash register when they seen me in the building, because they monitor their building like you wouldn't believe. As soon as I walked in the door, the facial recognition was saying, oh, that's Brian Price. Oh, he's an ad matcher. Oh, open up another line. That's what happened. And I would say to the people standing behind me in line, I would say, hey, you want to go to a different line? This is my line. You want to go to a different line because I'm an ad matcher. You don't understand what that means, and you're going to get upset by standing behind me. So please just save yourself the aggravation and move to a different line. They invariably never would move to another line, and I would be standing there saving money on my groceries. And I would be, the people behind me, this is going to take forever. I'm like, I told you, I'm an ad matcher. I'm saving money on my groceries. You decided to stay here, sir. I'm sorry about your luck. I tried to tell you. So at the end of the day, I'm trying to tell you too, this is a recession. We are in the middle of a recession. We can spiral into depression because we already printed negative 1.2 GDP growth last quarter. We're going to have negative GDP growth this quarter. Add those two together, we're going to be sitting at least 3 probably, which means that we're 1/3 of the way to, or 30% of the way to a depression. And then the next quarter's GDP is going to be negative as well too. Add that together. And the next quarter GDP is going to be negative too. Add that together. And we are going to be even closer to a depression. Now, what might save us from a depression at this point in time is that if you add the 4 quarters of negative GDP growth together that are coming, we may be only 8. So a depression is by definition 10. So there is some protection that we might not be depressed, but we are going to be spiraling into a very deep recession. We are already in a recession, just not a deep one. It's a very shallow one. We are running some strong risks of deepening this recession. So we are in a recession. Have I said recession long enough and many times in this video to be able to help you to understand that we are in a recession and that this could be a very, very deep recession, that we might save ourselves from depression by technology, by math at the end of the day. So thank you for watching. This is my recession video. We are June 16, 2022. We are in recession. Thanks for watching.